Hello, Envision community. My name is Olivia, and welcome to our November monthly release chat. Joining me today is Charles.
Hello.
In this session, we are excited to talk about what our November release brings to you. This includes additions for our moderators and those completing moderator actions within your community. We are also pleased to bring you some additional integrations and bug fixes for our events app. Thank you to those who weighed in and for providing feedback about our newly revamped events app that we just delivered to you guys last month. While you are joining today, please feel free to use the Q&A feature in the webinar to ask any questions about this upcoming November release. We are happy to answer those questions live. If we don't get to your questions live today, we will follow up in our community. There's also a chat feature, so you're welcome to weigh in and just say hello to let us know that you're here with us. Without further delay, Charles, take it away and walk us through the highlights of this November release.
Thanks, Olivia. So November release was focused mostly on a few things. So we had our events update that was in our October release. So in our November release this month, we are doing some refinements to that based on some feedback we got. We also did some backend technology updates and laid some groundwork for some other things we're doing. But first, let me talk about some moderation improvements we made. So we've gotten a lot of feedback from clients, particularly on large communities that have a lot of moderation that goes on, a lot of posts, a lot of activity, and a large moderation team. They have a lot of people helping them with moderation. And so we got a lot of feedback from them to offer features to help them moderate. So there are two things we implemented. One was when something goes to approval queue, the system will now tell you the reason why it was sent to approval queue. Because what we were finding, there's a lot of reasons the software will send something to approval queue. There's the obvious ones, users put on approval queue, obviously. Or there's some communities have it set up where new members for say 30 days might be in approval queue. But there's a lot of other things too that can happen. We now offer features where if they post a certain word or a certain link, that'll send to approval queue. And also our new image AI features. So if someone posts an image that might be inappropriate for the community, but the AI isn't sure, it'll sometimes send that post to a moderator for approval. With all those things in place, it sometimes became kind of confusing for a moderator to know, well, why was this sent to approval queue? It seems pretty normal to me. And they may approve it. Maybe it shouldn't have been approved, or maybe it should have had some further review. So that was one thing we added. So it looks like this. So when you're in the approval queue, you'll see a reason for approval. In this case, this was a member that had been flagged for requiring approval of their content, but it could show all sorts of information there. So basic feature, very useful feature, particularly if you have a busy community, to know why is something approval queue, and it helps moderation move more quickly. So if it's something simple, user posts something very, very basic, sure, we can improve it. But if the reason it was sent for approval queue might be something more high level, like say an inappropriate image, maybe you want to get a second opinion or something like that. So that's really a great feature to help you moderate your community. On the same moderation thing, we also now leveraging our alert system, which is fairly new. We now have a thing where you can send an alert while moderating. So a couple things here. This is more for moderation where it's not anything that's been done, nothing's bad happened. We have a warning system if someone posts something that's inappropriate or violates your community guidelines. That's a little bit different. This is more for like someone just posted something accidentally in the wrong area, or maybe they accidentally did a duplicate topic or something like that. It allows you to send an alert to say, hey, I did this thing to your content. Nothing's wrong. You didn't violate a rule. I just want to let you know so you weren't confused. So let's say I was going to hide this topic for some reason. So I can say, this is a duplicate. I'm going to send an alert. I'm going to say, your topic. Put that in here. I say it was a duplicate. I can say that they can reply. And then if I go over here and I log in as this user, you can see that comes up there. Oh, in this case, it's hidden, so it's not going to show it to me. And then I can also reply if I want to here as well. That's a couple of moderation features. In the events app, so we just did the events update, so that was really, really well received. So a couple of things we did there were add in some new capabilities based on customer feedback. So we added TikTok, Twitch, Vimeo, and SpotMe as new integration options. And the other thing, and this is something we kind of knew about already, but we do monthly release cycles, and sometimes based on testing and stuff like that, we can't always squeeze something into last minute because it would, that's always a risk. We're developing something as big as Envision Community. But we did add a thing where the browser no longer automatically prompts the user for their GPS location. Now what it does is it guesses the GPS off their IP address using public information. It's not always perfect, but it usually kind of gets you semi-close. And then the user can optionally click a button to share their location, and the prompt will come up. So that was something we implemented, both based on feedback and also because we agreed that was something that we overlooked in our first release. And lots of bug fixes and small enhancements around the events app as well. And there's more coming with the events app. We're adding in, there'll be another round of updates soon, and it's also going to be sort of the home, I guess, for some new live engagement features we're working on. Because that's why we kind of we renamed it from calendar to events, because we're trying to get more into that event space out of, here's just a calendar. And that's why we took out birthdays and things like that, because we're trying to move more into community events rather than just, a simple calendar there.
Charles, we do have one question that came through, if I can interrupt you now. Are there plans to implement paid events where users have to pay to attend?
Well, yes, actually. And actually if you see my background here, I'm actually in London right now. I'm visiting clients. I'm normally based in the US, but I'm over here this week visiting clients. And I actually met with one of our developers here in the UK I don't want to give away too much, but we are working on a fairly large update to our commerce application. And one of the things we really want to do is not everything, almost every type of content item in Envision Community will be able to be made paid. So you'll be able to do paid events, to answer your question. But we're also looking into pay to post a topic in maybe a certain form, maybe almost like a premium form, or pay to post an article, things like that. So this is still in the planning stage. It's not too distant future, but definitely we are most definitely adding paid events. That is something we're going to be doing. And we're also going to be not only to pay to post an event, we're also going to look into pay to RSVP to an event, which will effectively be ticket sales. Now don't get too excited. We're not trying to take over, Ticketmaster or anything like that, but basically something like take our webinar here, something where you could pay to get access to this webinar would be an example of something you could possibly do with that platform. So good question. And I'm happy to always give teasers to things upcoming for those who attend our videos here.
Very good. Yeah. Keep going.
Oh yeah, that's great. So that's in the short version of November release. The other big thing we did was PHP 8 is now required because PHP 7 is end of life, both in terms of updates and security as well. So we kind of at some point got to kind of draw that line in the sand and say we have to move forward. And also we're super excited because PHP 8 is faster, but our development team and programmers are really great because there's so many new functions and capabilities they can take advantage of. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't really understand it, to be perfectly honest, but they're super excited in Git to be able to posting some more advanced code.
Very good. All righty. Anything else to cover today, Charles?
I don't think so. We can talk, you can talk briefly about December and January updates.
Yep, I will. Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. If you have questions that arise after watching the video, please feel free to reach out to us via our community support. We will also post a topic that coincides with this chat so we can talk with you guys there. A few reminders, stay tuned for our upcoming classes, chats, and webinars. Our next two scheduled events are on community security and also our cloud architecture. If you have any suggestions for other topics or features that you would like us to showcase, please feel welcome to let us know about those ideas. And for December, in lieu of our monthly release chat, we will be hosting a year in review chat where we will highlight all of the features that we delivered to you guys in 2022. And that is proving to be a fun event to prepare for. So please feel welcome to join us for
Yes,
that.
we're all looking forward to that. And that should be a longer video too. And we really hope to cover a lot more and both talk about your review and probably a whole lot more teasers about upcoming stuff.
Yes. Yep. So that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you again so much for watching. And ultimately, thank you for using Envision Community. We will see you next time.